cameras, I have to say.
So I'm here with Jeff Byne, and he's just going to talk us through some of the pictures on his wall. So I go talk us through these, please, Jeff, if you would.
Right, well these two timing tickets are my best ever speed on ET 802 and terminal speed 181.8. They were the best I ever did. And the picture you can see is myself in the foreground and John Hobbs in the background. We were both then pretty well at the top of what was going on. Standing between us is Stu Bradbury, the late great Stu, and the other guy is a guy called John Arpham, who worked for Santapod at the time, I believe. He moved to Sweden. After that, I don't know what happened to him. But yeah, that's my favourite picture. It just shows me and John at the height of our, well, the best that we were going, I guess.
Okay. Moving along.
And this one's just a now faded rolling burnout shot with a certificate of speed of my first ever 8, an 870, and that appears to have been 16th of October 1976. And underneath another rolling burnout with the gingery mop you can see behind me is a guy called Ray Simpson, who I think bought my 750 rolling chassis, if memory serves me well.
Okay, moving on to, this is a copper plaque.
Yeah, that's a reproduction of a friend of mine did for me. And this is Keith Lee's words about me becoming a member of the Hall of Fame in 2021. And that's Keith Lee's little write-up. Rolling burnout on the original bike that I crashed. And the bottom right-hand one is a modernish one, Dragstalgia. And this is just a picture of the front page way back in 1972 or something. I somehow got myself on the front of.
Right. Okay, Jeff, so this is the bike as it stands after the Dragstalgia last year, 2021.
Yeah, this is pretty well as it was rebuilt when we went to Dragstalgia, which I believe probably 2015. A few little mods along the way, but yeah, pretty well. And this is how it was. And he's after its rebuild from 1983, when this was the result of the broken engine that put me in retirement, really. That's what happens when it goes wrong. Complete carnage. But
so what have you got to do to the bike now to take it out again, should you choose to?
it needs timing. The timing on the rear engine, ignition timing. And it's ready to roll. But we'll see.
And do you hope to take it out again this year, or?
We may go to Dragstalgia, but or possibly just to run what you brung, just to give it a final farewell, I suppose. But yeah, it's a shame to have it sitting there and not doing anything, but I think we're getting a little bit, we're not as strong as we were, let's put it that way.
Have you any plans for the bike from now? Or do you-
No, people ask me what's going to happen to it, and I say I don't know, basically. It's a heavy paperweight, but yeah.
You were saying earlier the problem is it's simply now it gets too physical for you and the crew to
Yes.
push around and manoeuvre around, not so much on the run of course, but just around the pits and
Just
getting
like
it.
the whole loading, unloading, pushing it around. When you get to the other end, by the time you stop, it has to be pushed back. And that's after 3/4 of a mile push. Because it doesn't tow very well. And with the 5 mile an hour limited centre pod, it can't be towed at that speed. It's not balanced enough. If you tow it at 20 mile an hour, it's all right, but you can't go through the pits at centre pod at 20 mile an hour, and people walking in front of you. So it means a 1/2 to 3/4 of a mile push every time you run it,
Right.
and it weighs 600 pounds.
So at the moment the jury's out on as to whether you
Yeah.
take it out again this year.
Yeah, the jury's definitely out at the moment. There's a couple of photos up behind you, I don't know if they're any use to you.
Okay.
And that poster is Russ Collins, and on his triple Honda. It was the first or second time I went.